Peasants, I bring news! Join me in PC gaming and ascend to godhood! For you are weak, and I am mighty! Witness, mortals, my overclocked i7, my 64 gigs of RAM.
So it looks like we're playing the waiting game to find out what the technical aspects of No Man's Sky is for the PlayStation 4 in regards to things like resolution and frame rate, but I don't feel like we're talking enough about the PC version releasing on Steam day and date for No Man's Sky, so why don't we think about what that might look like and PC performance and settings and things like that. I think it's a good conversation to have. With all of the PlayStation 4 and Sony marketing focus happening with No Man's Sky, we should also remember that No Man's Sky has a PC version set for release, day and date on Steam along with the PlayStation 4 version. And while the jury is still out on how well the PS4 version of No Man's Sky will perform, like resolution and frame rate, let's take a moment to talk about the PC version and what it could potentially look like, and dream about its potential feature set. So fire up those unreasonably expensive, totally future-proof monster rigs, and let's talk PC release. So for reference, I'll utilize the fantastic PC Gamer article written by the one and only Durante of DSFix fame. This article expertly lists the various levels of what makes a PC port of any game great, and sometimes not so great. Also, we'll look at the most recent PC game offering from Hello Games, Joe Danger 2 the movie, to see a brief history of PC performance by the developer. But I would caution this. Hello Games is a small developer, and deliberately so. So I imagine with No Man's Sky already being a massive and risky undertaking, it'll be a challenge to put out a PC version that will cater to high expectations of enthusiasts. Is that an okay excuse? Well, that would depend on who you talk to. So in the PC Gamer article, Durante breaks down various PC gaming expectations into 3 reasonable categories, with each level leading to an even better creation. First category is named Essential, which basically sets a basic standard for basic expectations of most PC gamers. Second category is the Important category, which lists steps to fulfilling crucial versatility to the game and are appreciated by most PC gamers. And lastly, the Enthusiast category is aimed at the high-level PC gamer who prefers a fine-tuned, well-optimized, and feature-rich experience. So firstly, let's talk basic options such as resolution, frame rate, and button mapping. Options like these are more than likely the first thing that PC gamers look at before jumping into the first play session. Offering display resolution options are always nice, but offering a wider range, more than common resolution option, even upwards of things like 4K and beyond, has a lot of benefits. Even outside of accommodating the large variety of existing displays out in the wild today, arbitrary resolutions provide advanced options for advanced monitors. And even more so, those that like to downsample with their displays, which is the act of rendering the game at a higher resolution like 4K for instance, and then fitting that gloriously crisp image to a 1080 display. Having that option to begin with is nice and does away with the risk of somebody like Durante having to dive into the game to make it available because you didn't do so. Providing options for variable frame rates to suit gamer preferences and display capability is also pretty highly desired. Trying to sell 30 or even 60 frames per second to some PC gamers won't get you very far, so look to providing refresh options up to 90 and 144 Hz for the displays that can support it. Don't be that developer that locks resolutions and frame rates for God knows why. Easy examples like when Dark Souls was ported to the PC is what it looks like when you screw up a good port for no good reason other than laziness. Also, providing options for easy button reassignment is an awesome courtesy, again for suiting gamer preference, but also for those that may struggle with using keyboard and mouse combination versus simple game pads and vice versa. Looking at some of the more important features you can include in a PC game, FOV or field of view is especially important for No Man's Sky, especially because it's a first-person game. Default FOVs can be too narrow, causing difficulty ranging from annoyance all the way to nausea and headache. Allowing gamers to adjust their FOV to a reasonable level helps to improve and even enhance their experience. Some gamers would even appreciate multiple aspect ratio options outside of 4:3 and 16:9. Even the 16:10 folks don't get a whole lot of love these days. Some folks have displays featuring even wider aspect ratios and even more interesting, multiple displays at one time. So we want to keep those folks in mind.
One of the most important options you can give for a PC game is a wide range of graphics settings and customization. With the many combinations of hardware configurations, PC gamers find comfort in adjusting various settings to suit the performance of their machines. Pointless settings like low, medium, high, and ultra, etc. are a step in the right direction, but not really preferable because each of those settings dictate that a certain graphical bell and whistle is locked to a certain level that may not bridge the gap between desirable performance and not so desirable. Options like anti-aliasing to remove the ugly jagged edges around objects, texture quality settings relative to the resolution you pick, vertical sync options to avoid screen tearing on certain configurations. Even better, No Man's Sky seems to have wonderful lighting. So light and shadow options like God rays, shadow quality adjustments, and environmental lighting options would be excellent. If you really want to please the enthusiasts, allowing some of the more sophisticated driver base and third-party base models like tessellation to make those textures really pop, water physics and foliage behaviors of the sort would please a lot of folks that prefer graphics card options like Nvidia. And lastly, mod support certainly couldn't hurt. I understand that No Man's Sky initially may not be suited for things like modding, but I can certainly see the opportunity for it. Looking at games like Skyrim and Fallout allowing mods, it just goes to show how well the life of the product is enhanced and extended. Games like Minecraft have a butt ton of mods available and make it into an almost different game entirely depending on the mod you use. Furthermore, if you're looking to add modding capability, make it the easiest you can by utilizing Steam Workshop. There's nothing worse than feeling like I have to be an astrophysicist just to install a mod. Looking at Joe Danger 2 the movie on Steam, feature set is pretty basic, but for a pretty basic type of game. I will say that the game's performance is pretty fluid, running on my i5 3570K processor and a 670 Nvidia GPU. Frame rate was solid but capped at 60 FPS, and the list of PC options was limited to low, medium, high, and ultra with some decent anti-aliasing options, none of which was configurable in the actual game itself but rather in a game launcher, which was a bit unfortunate. Otherwise, I really wouldn't complain about its performance. So that's just a few of my hopes for No Man's Sky on PC. I would even just be happy with a well-optimized game with all the basic needs thrown in. And I realize that Hello Games has quite the monumental task of completing and shipping this amazing game. So thanks for all you do, and I can't wait for the final product.
So I really think it's worth a good effort to put in a nice optimization to make that PC version really run good and look great and have some good options. Because that's not really a crowd that you want to be angry with you for having a not so good PC port. Just ask those folks that are playing Quantum Break on PC right now.